Hello, welcome to another edition of Maths Not Live. Today we're going to be learning about negative numbers and how they're used in various calculations. You will have used negative numbers since Key Stage 1, ever since that you found out that numbers are not always positive. Numbers don't always start at 0. Yes, if you've got 0, you've got nothing, and then you add 1, 2, 3, and it carries up on the positive number line. But you'll have found out in Key Stage 1 that you can also work backwards, that you can go into negative numbers which are less than 1. And then Key Stage 2, you've been doing topics such as temperature and learning about how, say for example, it is -2 degrees at night, and then the temperature increases by 5 degrees by the morning. How much difference? What's the difference? What is the new temperature that it's at? So you will have used negative numbers. It is a little bit trickier when we're using lots of positives and negative numbers mixed into one calculation. So this is why it's taking us into Key Stage 3. First of all, let's recap the types of negative numbers that we have used in calculations before. So for example, -4 plus 6. So currently the sum starts at -4. Now if we draw a number line and we have 0, currently it starts at -4, and what we're doing is we're adding 6, so we're going up, we're increasing, we're going more towards the positive. So we'd go, and what we're doing is adding 6, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 to 0, 5, 6. So if you've added 6 to -4, you'll now be at +2. So the answer is 2. Another question. You might have 2 this time, so now it starts with the positive number, 2, and you take away 7. Oh, there's a take away sum. What do I do? Is it a negative number? No, we know that it's not -7, it's take away. Hang on though, do we have to use negative numbers? So here's our number line, and we're at 2. Okay, now we take away 7, so if we take 1, 2, we're at 0. You might think, well, sometimes you used to say, I can't do it. And we know if we're doing column method, we have to go across and regroup. But you can use the number line. So we've taken away 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what have we gone to? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so rather than saying can't do it because it goes less than 0, we know in Key Stage 2 that you can go less than 0, so it comes down here to -5. Okay, one more example. You might have -3 and then you take away 5. Okay, so you're at -3. We'll put it here. Here's my 0, and I'm at -3, and I'm going to take away 5. Taking away, remember, it means it gets less. So, for example, in temperature, if it's -3 and then you take away another 5, it's getting colder. So you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8. Okay, so if you're continuing to take away temperature, that means it gets lower. Now then, this is where it can be a little bit trickier, because we will be putting negative numbers straight next to the operations, and that can look a bit confusing, but there's certain rules that can help us. First of all, we'll start with addition and subtraction. So you might have -5, so picture that in your head, right, we're at -5, we're less than 0, and then we've got to take away +6. Now if you look at that, it looks really confusing. You're at -5, but then we've got to take away +6, and you're thinking, whoa, I'm at the negative and there's the positive, but there's a take away, and what do I do? Now then, there's a rule, and I'm going to rub this out for us. Actually, I'm going to use a different coloured pen because there's a rule. If you have next to each other a negative and a positive, or a positive and a negative, basically if you have the two signs next to each other, that equals, you can cross them out and it actually means take away. So two different signs next to each other with addition and subtraction, if they're next to each other, that means take away. Whereas if you have a negative and a negative and a positive and a positive, so if you have two of the same signs next to each other, you can change it into a positive. So if they're not linked, it's a negative. If you're not partners, no, you're a negative. And if you are partners, yes, you are positive. That's the way I seem to remember it. It's like, not related, no. Are related, yes. So I'm going to leave that there just to try and help us. So let's look at our calculation. We've got -5, take away +6. Now, in our rules, if these two are next to each other, we can actually replace it as this. And we've seen this before. We're at -5 and then we take away another lot of 6. So I'm going to do a number line down here. Here's 0. I'm going to put us at -5 there. And we've got to take away another lot of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -5, -6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that will take us to -11. I'll show you another example. Keeping that rule there. So you might have 4 and you take away -3. It just looks odd, doesn't it? You don't expect in Key Stage 2 to see those two together. Now, what do? What's the rule? We've got two matching symbols next to each other. And if they're matching, if they're related, if they're buddies, that's good. Okay, good. I mean good because I think we like positive a bit more than negative. So we change that to a positive, and 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, so that would be our answer. I'll show you another one. We might have 2 plus -5, and again it's like, oh, they've got a positive and a negative. This is a positive number, and we're adding a negative number. Right, these two don't match. Okay, so we're going to change it so it is just one symbol and it is a negative. So it is 2. Use a number line. Even if you're going into Key Stage 3, there's no shame in getting the sum out of your brain and writing it down. You know, guys, that I do it with word problems. Draw it. Get it on the page. It helps you figure it out. So we're at 0. The question starts at 2. It doesn't say -2. It's at +2. So here's 2, and we're taking away 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, -3. So our answer is -3. I'm sure you can guess what the next one's going to be, because I've done 2 ones that don't match. The last one, okay, is ones that are going to match. So I'm going to do 3 plus +4. Now that one's quite easy because +4 is just 4. Okay, so it's just 3 plus 4 again, which is 7. Okay, it's just like that. That is the same sum. +3 plus +4 means the same as 3 plus 4. Okay. Now, multiplication and division, and it's a little bit different because you do the actual calculation first and then you spot the difference. So I'm going to rub this out just for a second because I think it's a little bit easier. Do the calculation first. So if you have -3 times by 4, this is what you do. Right, 3 times 4 is 12. Now then, that happens when they're both positive numbers. Because one of them is negative, now imagine, you know in the last rule when we said one is negative and one is positive and they don't match? It's the same way. It's negative 12 because one's negative and one's positive, they don't match, so it goes to a negative number. Okay, try another one. I'm going to do 4 times negative 8. Okay, do the calculation first with the whole numbers. 4 8s, 1 8 is 8, 2 8 is 16, 3 8s are 24, 4 8s are 32. Now, we've got a positive 4, okay, we know it's positive 4 because it just says 4, but we've got a negative 8 and they don't match, so it's negative 32. Now, just like before, if you get a calculation that is positive 5 times by positive 10, we know that that just means 5 times 10, which is 50. Okay, positive and positive just mean the same whole number, so I don't really need to explain that one. I'm sure you've got that one. Let's try division now. So, for example, we've got negative 6 divided by negative 2. Do the calculation first. What is 6 divided by 2? What is half of 6? It is 3. Now, in this question, can you spot that we've got a negative and we've got another negative? They're matching, their buddies. So it actually is positive, just like we were doing in the adding and subtracting. It's positive 3 or just 3. That's fine. But what if it is 3 divided by negative 1? So 3 divided by 1 is 3. Okay, because you're only sharing 3 cookies with one person, which means the person gets all 3 cookies. But 1 is negative and 3 is positive. They don't match, so it must be negative 3. Okay? Right. I've had a go at explaining it. I know it's quite confusing, but if you just try and remember that rule, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a mixture of questions. I'm going to put 3 questions on the board. You can then press pause, because I know this is on YouTube. Press pause, have a go, and then press play and see how you did. So question 1 is negative 4 take away negative 2. Question 2 is negative 6 plus 2. And question 3 is 10. Actually, I'm going to just do 2 questions because we've done that. We've done the. I want to just do the adding and subtracting, and then we'll go into multiplication division. So, are you ready? Steady. Pause. And now you will have unpaused. So let's have a look. Negative 4 take away negative 2. Oh, look, they're matching. So it's actually negative 4 plus 2. So if we're at negative 4 on the number line, and we add 2, that means we're going up towards the positive numbers. So 1, 2, so that's negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. So the answer is negative 2. We didn't quite get into the positive numbers, but the number has increased still. Now with this one, it's negative 6 plus 2. Don't let it through. If you notice, there's actually just one symbol there. It's just the addition. There's no other one there. So it's just as we've done before. So it's very similar to this question. So we've got negative 6, and we just add 2. 1, 2, which is negative 4. Okay, let's try another set of questions. Let's try some multiplication division ones now. So I'll do 2 questions at a time. Question 1 and question 2. Got 10 divided by negative 2. 10 divided by negative 2. And 12, negative 12 times by 3. So 10 divided by negative 2 and negative 12 times by 3. Pause. And now we'll go through it. So, what is 10 divided by 2? It is 5. Now then, negative 2 is a negative number and 10 is a positive number. They don't match, so it is negative. So the answer is negative 5. And it's the same here. 1 12 is 12, 2 12s are 24, 3 12s are 36. Now, we've got negative 12, but a positive 3. There's a hidden positive there because it's just 3 on its own. So they don't match. So it's negative 36. Last 2. Going to do negative 8, question 1, negative 8 times by negative 3. That's question 1. And question 2 is going to be negative 15 divided by negative 5. Are you ready? Steady, pause. Okay, so unpause now. So remember, do the calculation first when you're doing multiplying and dividing. So 1 8 is 8, 2 8 is 16, 3 8s are 24. Now, 8 is negative and 3 is negative. That means they're matching, so it's just 24, or it's positive 24. And here again, with dividing, so it's 15 divided by 5 is 3. The 15 is negative and the 5 is negative. That means we leave it, make it a positive, so it's just 3. There was a lot to take in there. A lot to take in. So don't worry if you come away a little bit confused. Like I said, I'll put a resource sheet on with this so to help you, like a poster, but you'll be learning a lot more about this in Key Stage 3. So if you're in year 6, you will go next year and then you'll have a lesson on it and you'll think, oh, I've seen that on Maths Live with Steph, and this YouTube video will still be on there, so you could always come back and revise it when you're in secondary school. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.